Ever feel like you're running on a treadmill, working harder and harder but getting nowhere? That was Thomas's life. He was a night security guard, a man trapped in the quiet hum of empty corridors and flickering fluorescent lights. Every night, he'd patrolled the same floors, checked the same doors, his footsteps echoing in the silence. He worked hard, really hard, but his bank account remained stubbornly low, and his future looked as dim as the hallways he walked. Life felt stagnant, a loop he couldn't break out of. One morning, as the first rays of sunlight broke through the city's haze, Thomas was leaving his shift. He had just visited his mother, who was sick, and seeing her frail state hit him with a profound sense of urgency. Walking home exhausted, but with his mind racing, a powerful realization struck him. It wasn't that he wasn't trying. He was pouring every ounce of his energy into his work. But something crucial was missing. It wasn't effort, it was direction. He was a ship with a powerful engine, just spinning in circles in the middle of a vast ocean. A chance conversation changed everything. He met a successful entrepreneur who shared a simple but profound piece of advice. The difference between who you are and who you want to be, the man said, is what you do with the hours no one else wants. The early morning, when the world is still asleep, is your secret weapon. Use that time not just to work, but to build yourself. This idea ignited a spark in Thomas. It was a strategy, a plan, a map out of the maze he'd been stuck in for so long. So, the very next day, the real work began. At 5 a.m., his alarm blared. Every fiber of his being screamed for him to hit snooze, to sink back into the warmth of his bed. The exhaustion from his night shift was a heavy blanket, but the image of his mother, the feeling of being stuck, pushed him out of bed. While the city slept, Thomas's apartment became his university, his gym, his headquarters. He devoured online courses, learning about digital marketing and coding. He started exercising, feeling the burn in his muscles as a welcome change from the ache of fatigue. He'd sit with a pen and paper, not just dreaming, but meticulously planning his next steps, setting small, achievable goals. The first few weeks were brutal. Waking up at 5 a.m. felt like a punishment. His body ached, his mind was foggy, and the temptation to quit was a constant whisper. But he remembered the advice. Consistency is key. He didn't aim for perfection, he aimed for presence. Every single day, he just showed up. He told himself, just for today, and day by day, just for today, started to add up. The painful routine slowly morphed into a powerful ritual. The fog in his mind began to clear, replaced by focus and clarity. He felt stronger, both physically and mentally. Then, the magic started to happen. After just 3 months of this relentless discipline, the new skills he'd acquired weren't just theoretical knowledge anymore. He landed a freelance gig managing social media for a small business. It wasn't much at first, but it was more than he'd ever earned outside his security job. More importantly, it was proof. Proof that his pre-dawn efforts were paying off. This small win fueled his fire even more. Fast forward 1 year. The man who once walked empty hallways at night was now walking into a bright, modern office as a full-time digital strategist. His life had transformed so completely it was almost unrecognizable. He was no longer just surviving. He was thriving. He could provide better care for his mother. His future was bright, and he had a deep, unshakable confidence that he had built with his own 2 hands, one early morning at a time. Thomas's story teaches us a powerful lesson. Hard work is essential, but it's not the whole equation. You can push a boulder up a hill with all your might, but if it's the wrong hill, you're just wasting your energy. Success isn't born from brute force alone. It's born from disciplined consistency, from using your time wisely, and from having the courage to choose growth when everyone else is choosing comfort. It's about those small, daily habits, the 5 a.m. wake-ups, the 30 minutes of learning, the 15 minutes of planning. These are the tiny hinges that swing open the massive doors of destiny. So ask yourself, what are you doing with the hours no one is watching? That's where your future is being built. Thanks for watching. And if this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more.